Op 4 neutralized, Blue 4 successful.
Welcome back, my dear friends of the universe, to another video of Let's Talk About. In this little show, I pick a topic, usually a game, and then I talk about what's good and what's bad and so on to get a little discussion going. And hopefully you want to pitch into this discussion as well and talk about the topic yourself down in the comment section. I love to hear what you guys have to say about things, most of the time, at least. So, in this video I want to talk about Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, with focus on the recent closed beta that I just participated in. So for those who have no prior knowledge, WTF Rainbow Six Siege is, or Rainbow Six at all, here's an overview of everything. Might want to skip ahead a little bit if you know everything already. But yeah, Rainbow Six is a tactical shooter game series that's been around for a pretty long time. The older entries have been very focused around co-op gameplay and playing as counter-terrorist forces trying to take out terrorist forces occupying a certain location, with very high-risk gameplay and the use of a lot of cool gadgets and so on. They have all been very fun in my opinion, at least from what I remembered when I played it personally some years back. Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, some of the older entries in the series, me and my friends had tons of fun with. It was hard, smooth, and felt very rewarding.
That's what she said.
In Rainbow Six Siege, there is a co-op mode that sort of mirrors these old classic Rainbow Six games called Terrorist Hunt. While cool and all, personally I did not have anyone to try it out with at the time of recording, and also it's by far not the most interesting part of Rainbow Six Siege, in my opinion. But I still want to point out that it's there for those who are interested. The most interesting part for me though is the new multiplayer mode. The multiplayer mode itself is a little bit odd. It's basically a bunch of random spec ops, spec forces, dudes and duderinas in two teams trying to fight each other off. So when you focus on that, it doesn't make too much sense. But that's a very minor detail that I'm not really sure why I'm actually bringing up. But I thought it was weird when I thought about it. I giggled a little bit when I had a thought. Anyhow, the new multiplayer mode is kind of similar in a way to how Counter-Strike works. You have two 5v5 teams, one defending team and one attacking team. What makes it different is how it's set up in different phases or parts. First, both teams select what kind of spec ops dude or dunerina they want to play as. These are called operatives. Every operative has a special gadget that they can use. Bandit, for example, has a special gadget called Shockwire that sets high tension shockwire on metallic gadgets and surfaces and so on, dealing damage to enemies. And Fuse uses cluster charges that pierce and stick to walls, releasing sub-grenades on the opposing side. It is all very cool and exciting. The attackers have gadgets that are more focused on attacking, and the defenders have more gadgets that are focused on defending. Pretty logical. Once everyone has chosen an operative, you get to choose where to spawn. The defenders spawn with the attacker's objective on the spawn point that the majority of the defenders choose to spawn at, and the attackers spawn from the angle that they want to attack the objective from. After that, the defenders prepare for the attack, putting up barricades and gadgets and all kinds of wires and so on, and the attackers scout it all out with small surveillance drones. And then it's game on. Attackers attack and defenders defend. Once one round is done, the teams switch sides and repeat all I just said. And that's pretty much it, without going into too much detail about everything around it. So with that out of the way, let's discuss the game, shall we? Finally! I'm gonna start with what I think is good, and then I'm gonna work my way down. I'm going to mostly refer to the mechanics of the game and not the bugs, because of the fact that I was, well, playing a beta. But the game is soon to be released, so not too much should be different from the final product. There is some instruction videos for the different operatives that was missing and so on, so there will be added stuff, alright, but yeah, anyhow. Alright. I've always been a fan of very tactical, hardcore games. And even though there is a bit too much UI and casual elements and stuff going on the screen for my tastes, Rainbow Six Siege scratches my tactical gameplay itch very well. One of its biggest focuses lies on destruction. If a wall looks breachable, it's breachable. This creates a huge dynamic gameplay that's changing between every match, and a high skill gap, which is absolutely fantastic when it comes to the tactical aspects of the game. The game itself promotes team play through many various mechanics. The different operatives complement each other well, and you can use cameras to spot enemies for your teammates when you're alive and when you're dead, creating pastime for you to help your team through the entire round. Example on the screen right now. One guy where I was at.
One guy in front of you.
Beauty's in place.
All there.
They've ceased attempting to secure the container. 1 Op 4 remaining. Biohazard container securing paused. Take out the hostiles. Blue 4 victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Changing spawn points makes every round a bit more unpredictable, and every spawn point has its own approach for both teams. And mastering every spawn point takes a lot of practice, which is kind of the charm of the game. At least one of the biggest charms of the game. I like the general idea of the game overall. It fills a hole in the FPS market with very good and polished ideas. And they really seem to listen to the players and their customers on how to improve the game even further. And when I say really, I mean to really listen. Actually impresses me a lot, and we have got a lot of visual feedback and stats of what they're actually doing, so awesome work there. It's kind of surprising from Ubisoft actually, but awesome work there. I also think the game can create an interesting competitive scene unlike anything else that's on the market at the moment. I'm excited to see where this all ends up really. I think we can see some really cool moments with this game. The gunplay itself has very good elements. It has fast time to kill, which I enjoy, and it fits this game type. Even though personally I would like it a bit more skill based with high recoil and smaller magazines for every gun. It's solid, it's a solid gunplay mechanic and sort of how it's designed. It's a decent middle ground that speaks to the most people possible, I think. I like the gadgets and how they are balanced. No two people on the team can play as the same operative, therefore creating a very dynamic team play. Some operatives do feel more useful than others, that's true, but I think it's hard to make them all as good as one another. And depending on what tactic or team you're running for, it might actually be better to not pick the best, in quotations, operative sometimes. Some of you might argue that the ballistic shields are OP in the game, but come on. Ballistic shields are just something that people will always hate on in these kinds of games. They are very frustrating to handle, but at least in Rainbow Six Siege they have a solid purpose. The graphics of the game are not the best. It works. It does the job. But I don't think anyone will go batshit crazy because of how the game looks. Also, the sound design is about the same level. It's decent, it does the job. Nothing I would boast about. Sound dedication seems pretty good. It's pretty easy to distinguish where the sounds are coming from, and that's a big plus in these kind of tactical games. Also, performance-wise, I had no problem at all with the game. It runs like a charm, and that is also very important for an FPS multiplayer shooter. The game itself feels good. There's a solid amount of options and control of your operative to utilize. Why the game does not feel as good as it could, I will touch on in a bit though. I like the map design. It's something new, something fresh. With a huge amount of destruction, every map is dynamic as fudge. Some maps are of course better than others, but that's to be expected. I think maybe even more attention to detail would be nice, just to make every map and location a little bit more alive and believable. It sort of feels like one of those setup homes that you walk into and everything is kind of perfect, but that's a minor issue, I guess. Personally, I think the screen is a bit too cluttered with stuff on the UI while you play. There's almost too much help on the screen about what's going on, making it a bit annoying for at least me at times. There is a lot of options though to customize what you see on the screen while you play. I didn't play around with it too much, I gotta be honest. But I think as it is from the standard, from the get-go, too much UI while you play sort of removes the immersion. That very important immersion that makes some games so good. Try playing Battlefield 4 without any UI at all. The game looks amazing. And it's something I'm not sure how much developers focus on, actually. I think it's something that can lift the experience immensely. Overall, Rainbow Six Siege is a solid game that offers something new and exciting. It's not making me, I don't know, run laps over the field next door. Not that I have a field next door. No, I don't. But if I did, it's not making me do that because it's not that amazing, but it's solid and it offers something new and exciting. What kills the experience for me a bit though is an issue that is not a new issue. There has been tons of debates and hate around this the last 2 or 3 years. I'm talking about hit registration, or netcode, if you so may, if you played Battlefield 4. Tick rate, ping-related issues that are so annoying, and that's not something new. It's very obvious that, at least in the beta, there is tons of issues with this. I think what I've heard, I'm not entirely sure of this, that the tick rate is at 30 on the servers, and that's way too low. Counter-Strike usually has 60 on their matchmaking servers, and then they have 128 tick servers that are private servers, but the higher the tick rate, the better it feels. And I'm gonna leave this as a big negative. Even if I only play the beta, it might actually be better for the final product, but I'm pretty positive that some of these issues will be there, and it just annoys the crap out of me, I gotta be honest. It makes the game feel so much worse than it should. There is a reason why higher and higher tick rate servers are becoming a standard, for example in Battlefield 4 or Counter-Strike Go, because it makes the game feel so much better. For those who do not know what tick rate is that I'm talking so much about, it's the server's refresh rate. An example, if the server has a tick rate of 33, then the server refreshes 33 times per second. So the higher the tick rate, your client and the server speak to each other more often, creating better hit registration. Have you ever played a multiplayer shooter and felt like a shot should connect, but it did not? That's probably because of low tick rate. Probably. And I had tons of encounters in Rainbow Six Siege that I'm positive that I hit the enemy in the head and in the body a lot, but it just didn't register and it didn't feel like it should. But it's not only in the game that the server issues bug you. The matchmaking system is pretty broken at the moment. Sometimes I queued for 5 minutes, nothing happened, I jump out of the queue and I jump back in and I get a match instantly. I saw that the developers have addressed this at least, so hopefully the matchmaking system will be a lot better when the game is actually released, but this game is a game that is played on Uplay. I can't say that any other service has given me and my friends as many problems when it comes to playing with each other as Uplay has. And Uplay is Ubisoft's creation. And Rainbow Six Siege is Ubisoft's creation. See why I'm worried about these server issues and everything not being fixed until launch? Yeah. You usually have to open ports and a lot of stuff like that to even being able to play with each other on a local area network. Not to say that you have to do it while you play over the net. And take Origin and Steam, for example. You don't have to do that. It's mostly not a problem anymore, so yeah, it just annoys me. It annoys the shit out of me. If Ubisoft takes a couple of hints from CSGO and Battlefield 4 and make tick rate servers better and make the server-related issues very much more solid and not existent, then this game is gonna be very solid and very fun and very, very good. At least in my opinion. It's fun, very tactical, and there is hours upon hours of game time to be had here, both alone and with friends. Maybe not my maximum mega ultra super dream vision of what a game like this could be, but it's on the right path at least. I am, however, going to wait and see how it sits on launch. I have never seen developers give as much good response to feedback on a game before though, so that's very good and exciting. So even though this is a Ubisoft game, and Ubisoft and I are not the biggest of pals, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you should know that. They are certainly offering some sweet, sweet cookies at the moment. We'll just see if they are as tasty as they seem when we finally get to eat them. Yeah. Did you get the metaphor? I hope you did. Also, the price tag is, yeah, high. For a game with the only content that they're offering, Terrorist Hunt and multiplayer, about 60 bucks, or your regional equivalent, 30 to 40 bucks seems more reasonable. Come on now, we should know this by now. I know that Ubisoft's a big company and they like making money, but still, you gotta have some perspective here, alright? Alright, thanks for listening to me ramble about Rainbow Six and server-related issues for a little bit. Now it's your turn. What do you think about the game? Maybe you didn't actually experience all of these server-related issues that I experienced, but it would be interesting nonetheless for me to see your thoughts about this game in the comment section below. Like and share if you enjoyed, and until next time, guys. Bye. In cooperation with giveaway links, one of the best places to get free games on the web, link in the description.